All right. Welcome to the Cult of Personality podcast. Once again, episode 12, I think. And this one's a milestone because this is the first time on the podcast that we've had an executive producer only, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's pretty cool, pretty cool. And we're here with Crota.
You know it.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Summer just started for me. School just let out. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Pretty cool indeed. Now, yeah, I'm excited because this is definitely more of a discovering journey because I don't really know a lot about, as if I didn't know enough about or very little about artists like vocalists. I know barely anything about producers. So this is going to be quite the rundown.
Yeah, I mean I've never talked to you, so it's good to finally meet you. Heard a lot about you. I listened to Portal. That was
Yeah.
definitely a banger. I listened to
Thank you.
that when it came out. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh,
Um
yeah. I've seen you around. I've seen you work with a fellow amount of acquaintances, I think. Give me the rundown of who you've worked with in the scene and stuff.
well I have a couple unreleased tracks. I'm trying to get a hold of those, and some people deleted their tracks, which I mean it's all up to them really. I gave my beats away. I mean, most of my beats I give away because I mean, I'm just learning, so I don't really care too much. I always sell myself too short, I feel like. I try not to, but yeah, so I work with Noved, Noru, Fiji, man, I'm trying to think. OG Eli, man, that song's a banger. It was called, I feel like it was called Breaking Up. That song is, I don't know if you heard it.
I don't think I have. I might have to check that out.
Yeah, if you go to my SoundCloud, there's like this beat called 2002 Breakup I made like a year ago. That's a banger for sure. But yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
That's what's up. Now, yeah,
Yeah.
you got a lengthy list of fucking collaborators and stuff, which is dope. Good exposure. But what was I gonna say? Let me not brain fart. Let me get on top of my shit. Let me get my water. We're
I
here.
got a water
We're
here too.
room temperature. All right. No, yeah. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty lengthy fucking collaborator list. Many of those fucking close friends, Fiji, no rule, all them. Yeah, I'm glad you've been active and around and shit for what? How long have you been doing producing?
I think about 3 years. I mean, I got this. I have it here. I don't know why this is on my desk. Ableton Live intro. My uncle bought it for me like 4 years ago when I was like
Yeah.
12. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. Um,
So what's that making now? You're 16 now?
yeah, I'm about to be 17 this summer.
Sweet,
So
sweet, sweet.
yeah,
Oh shit. You're on this shit early. Good shit.
yes. I mean, my mentality was like, okay, so originally, I was super into EDM. I have a Monster Cat poster up here. Um, I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a EDM label. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a big like dubstep phase when I was a kid. So like Monster Cat would pop up here and there for shit like that. Cause it was like kind of
hmm
like there. So yeah, I figure.
Yeah. So I wanted to be like, I don't know. I wanted to make like EDM. I didn't really know. Even now, I don't really know what I want to do. But yeah. So I was super into dubstep, and I watched this YouTuber named Wubix. Um, and yeah, he would always put out like, I basically like copycat. I feel like they were just copycat, like how to, I don't know, Snail House, how to, do this other dude. And so I would just watch him, and then now that I watch it, I'm like, how did I watch it? Because I don't know. I guess I don't know. It was kind of weird, but yeah, I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I need to chill out.
It's all good, dude. I host the show, and every time I have people on, I get like nervous because I never spoke to the person before, and also like 9 times out of 10, I'm alone, like in my room type shit. So I don't talk to anybody verbally. So when I do talk to people verbally, I'm like, oh shit, I have to like learn how to articulate myself and fucking present myself and shit. It's weird. But I feel you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So where was I? Okay. So we got Wubix, this dude making electronic videos, dubstep, whatever, on FL Studio. So I did like this super long research onto what to use. FL Studio, Ableton. I mean, what is Cubase? What it just complicates everything, all these different softwares. But so my uncle came down, he plays the guitar. And I think he has a couple songs out, but that's irrelevant really. I mean, he's old now. Cool dude. But yeah, so he forked over like $100. I was like, man, I really want to do something with this music. I don't know where to start. Can I just get this Ableton? Because we were at where were we? It's Guitar Center. That was it. We were at Guitar Center, and yeah, he just picked it up for me, and I came home, downloaded it on the family Mac, and pretty much all started from there. I loaded it up. I didn't know how to use a thing on it. Like I don't even know. It was so long ago. I forget. Um, but like I remember it took like a year before I could actually make something. Like I could it took me like a month to figure out how to put down a MIDI track. And I would come back like every week. I was not dedicated to it at all. I was probably like playing Xbox or something all the time, slacking off in 8th grade, whatever it was. And yeah, so I would like I feel like it was on the weekends. I still don't know how I pulled it off, but I managed to put some time into it, finally figure out what to do. And yeah, so that was like maybe when I was 13. And then when I was like at the end of 14, I released this album. If you can find it, I'd be amazed. It's called Primer.
Primer?
Yeah, it was like I had like this whole thing for it. I was like it was like primer was supposed to be before like you put primer on before you paint something, right?
Right.
So it means like um I don't
Was this
even
like
know
the
it.
foundation before your art type
Yes,
shit?
I can't find the
Yeah.
words. Yeah. So it was like the foundation of this great thing, right?
Right.
And yeah, I really wanted to put out EDM, and that stuff, I mean, it might pass as EDM. It's more like experimental. But yeah, I was super proud of that because it was like 6 tracks, you know, all bangers. They're all amazing, right?
Yeah.
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 So that was like my first big project. And then just started making beats. I didn't really know what to make. So I kind of transitioned because I was like, this is actually how I felt. I basically like, I shot myself down. I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to make EDM. Like, I hated on myself so hard. So then I just started making beats. I was like, I've always been a fan of. Well, I guess that was the time when I found a little peep in them. So I don't know why I downloaded SoundCloud, but somewhere along the line I downloaded SoundCloud, and I found all these people. You know, like I never found Young Lean. I don't know how, because all these people talk about Young Lean, and I never found him.
I had to go out of my way to find Young Lean. Like when it came to the SoundCloud like algorithm, what I found organically, naturally, because of what was just trending, it was like Peep, Pump, X, fucking shit like that. I had to go out of my way to search up like Young Lean and find his shit. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was because I listened to this is probably like 2016.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2016. Um, 8th grade. I think that was 8th grade. Yeah. So I listened to like Famous Dex. I don't even know if you know who that is. He's
No,
so
yeah.
irrelevant, but yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
he fell off, unfortunately. He had a couple bangers though.
oh yeah, yeah. Yachty. Let's see. I mean, that's all I can really remember. I mean, I listened to Monster Cat on there too, but yeah. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to make EDM. I'm just not at the point yet. Like, well, actually, I think okay. So I missed the point that I meant to bring up. So when I first started, I was like, if I start when I'm 12, think about how good I'm gonna be when I'm like 22. I'm gonna be a professional, right? I was like 10 years, man. That's
It's a good mindset to have, I must admit.
yeah. But I guess I'm 1 year behind from that because I didn't really when I was 12, there was like nothing going on. I didn't put anything out, but yeah. So 2016, I'm jumping around here. Um, I was like, I'm just gonna start making beats, and I made some beats. Um, I feel like it was, I don't know, it's kind of foggy. I don't really know why. Um,
No, it's all good. Shit, your memory is better than mine. I'm here like, damn, this guy remembers like quite a lot about his shit. I'm like, my shit's like a whole blur. What I want to ask though, because usually it's the first question, but
Yes.
sometimes I get into it later in the episode because we end up talking, which is great. I'm glad that we got straight into it because sometimes like slow intro and I'm like nervous because I'm like, all right, do we even have a lot to talk about? But with you, we're good. But this is also just for like Instagram purposes because this is what I put on every fucking post, which is Crota, the name, the image, the aura, and the energy, which we got into some of the backstory. But we should get into the story of the name, which is where to come from, where is it now, and everything in between.
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Crota. What's up? Um, I've been in the game for about, I don't know, 3 years. There's many stages to the game. I mean, I may not even be in the game right now. I might just be backstage. I'm not there yet, but yeah. So Crota, that's the name. Came from Destiny.
The game?
Yes, yes, sir. Bungie made it Halo-esque, like open
Yeah.
world kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I was thinking of a name. I had like, I still do have it. It's a list of like 200 plus names. So I wanted to
200
change my game.
plus.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to change my gamer tag, and so I was just writing down all these things. Because I used to play Xbox all the time. So I really wanted to change my gamer tag, and then I was like, well, I mean, I kind of need a name for this music stuff. So I just started writing down names, and I was like, well, I'm using my phone right now. I could probably leave it, and I mean, I could tell you a couple, but yeah. So let me gather myself here.
No, good. Yeah. When you I had to ask before we continue on, when you made a primer, was that under Crota or was that under a different alias?
No, that was under Crota. I've stayed Crota for the longest time. Like,
Okay. So what, like since 2016 and shit?
yeah, I don't know when it came about. It might have been like 2018, maybe. 2016. I mean, how long ago was that? It seems too long. It wasn't
60,
20.
6 years ago.
Yeah, no, it had to be 2018. Yeah, I think actually maybe 2019. So 2018, I got the software. I lied to you. I'm
Okay.
a pathological liar. 2019 though, I probably made Crota my name. So yeah, I was super into Destiny. I love Destiny even now. RIP, that game was hard.
I have friends who were really into Destiny. I never got into it personally. I may have played it once or like a demo or something of it. I've always been more of like a GTA guy.
Well,
Even though now it sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I just got on my PC. I got on my Xbox. My friend bought it for me like last year, but it's just so grindy. Like I can't dedicate that
Yeah.
much time to that game.
Yeah. Now all I play, like when I hop on the game, is Fortnite and Rocket League. Those are two games like I'll play the most. So
Yeah, I don't play games too much. I slack off a lot. I'm really good at slacking off.
I'm a fucking slacker too. Like it looks like I'm probably busy on the outside with the podcast and music, but I'm a fucking ginormous slacker.
But when
So
I'm not slacking, I'm like making music or playing like Counter-Strike or something.
okay, yeah. I remember fucking Counter-Strike. I never played it, but I remember like I used to watch like the commentators who would like play it in the background when they were like talking about some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So man, that's what's up though. What was I gonna say? Where did we leave off before we talked about the name? Because we talked about the name, which you started in 2018, 2019, but you were on a story, you were on the story of just how you started.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly where we left off on that, but I was very intrigued.
Okay, so 2019. It might have been 2020 actually, when I kind of discovered this little corner of the underground. This is a sick corner of the underground. I mean, I guess I haven't really seen too many. There's like Sigil Core now. I'm really into the phonk scene as well, like cowbell phonk, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2020, it might have been late 2019. I started getting into actual like beats. Maybe watching a couple videos here and there, just trying to figure it out really. Still sticking with Ableton. Even now, I don't use anything else. I want to use FL because a lot of people use that. and collaboration's sake and all that. But yeah, so late 2019, early 2020, I guess I found this little corner. I didn't really know what kind of beats to make because I mean there's so many different routes to go, and I just listened to so much different stuff. So I didn't really know what to make, and then I found like Noru. I still remember how I found this dude. So it was his song 17. I was like going with my parents to some like gardening store, and I just turned this song on, and it just like there's not too many songs that'll do that to you, but yeah, that's one to remember for sure.
That was how a lot of people found No Room 17. And I remember exactly where I was when he released it because him and I were cool. Fucking all the way back to when he was fucking doing that shit. I was on the fucking bus on the way to school. Mind you, like my school, my high school, it fucking we used to have, I had to be up at 5:40, be out the door by like 6:30, waiting for a fucking bus, freezing New York winter time, bro. And he dropped that shit, I think maybe the night before, and I had put that shit on. I was like, yo, this shit's dope. And that shit,
Yeah, no, for sure. And then I think I reached out to him. I mean, that song was blowing up. SoundCloud can really bless some people.
right,
But he definitely deserved it. I mean, a lot of people do, but you know, that's just how the algorithm works.
right.
Yeah, so I found out about Noru. I think I messaged him. I made this jazz beat. It's just even now it's hard to talk about. It's like my past. I'm sure a lot of producers are like that. But yeah, I just started making like guitar beats and stuff, and finding myself in the beat world, making some unconventional beats. Like on my SoundCloud, some old beats I have. Just kind of messing around. So
Right.
yeah.
No, yeah, that's fucking dope. So do you reach out to him with a beat or you just sent out like we reached out like yo, like we should work type shit?
Well, I think I messaged him initially because I was like, dude, that song is like, it changed my whole life. Like, it was just crazy. I don't even know. It didn't really change my whole life, but it just made my day, and it was just good to hear. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, just some shit that wasn't like some shit out of underground that was like captivating and not like, some copycat shit.
Yeah. And I realized how easy these people were to contact. I was like, I think he did respond to me. I don't really know what he said. I mean, he probably said like thanks. And then I think I sent him a beat like later, and it was like not good. But I think he showed some support for it. I mean, it was okay. It was like 25% of it was good, which counts for something, I guess.
Shit.
Um, yeah, and that's yeah. I think that's where that story ends, pretty much. Yeah.
No, I really admire your fucking dedication and start at such a early age because you're only 16 and you're like, yeah, I've been doing this shit for like 3 or 4 years. I'm like, damn. I'm like, you started early. Like I started technically at 14, but like it barely counts. I didn't start consistently till like 16.
Yeah. I mean, that was my mentality though. It was like if I start really early.
Yeah, which is a good mentality to have. I mean, when I was like your age, or not your age, when I was that age, which was when you started at like 12, 13, I was doing like YouTube and I was like, if I start early on this, I'll be good in 10 years. I ended up not doing that and then going to music. But so yeah, you had it right from the get-go. But what I was gonna say, I was gonna add on to your point that yeah, everyone really is easy to contact. Like, and I didn't realize that even until like recently, this whole podcast thing, because I kind of just did like my own little corner with like the people I met through fucking Fiji and Nauru and shit. And like now with this podcast, I just be DMing people like, yo, we should do a podcast episode. Motherfuckers like, okay. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to just talk to people, really. Because I mean, you could text people all day, and then they'll like take something the wrong way, and then you're like, oh my, what? And then you just, it just ends up going bad, and they tell other people. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about like, I guess the underground is like some people can just hate on your name for like,
Yes. Some
yeah,
people are kind of like moody and like they'll just like take some one thing the wrong way and then not fuck with you for like that one little thing, especially over text because that shit's so like what's the word? Um, like tone deaf.
Yeah, I mean, I try to use emojis so people, get the
Yeah.
point. Like, I'm not trying to get on you or anything. I'm just, yeah.
No, yeah, right. And fucking, there are a lot of people who I thought may like in the underground, like even in this low corner, who I thought might have been like pretentious or like dicks or something. And then I fucking talk to them and they're dumb cool, and I'm like, oh shit, like it's just a mindset to get past. But yeah, it's really cool. And once you do get past that mindset, it's really fun to collaborate and
Hmm.
just keep cool with people as well. You know, good connections get you the farthest in this shit. So, but
Yeah.
what I wanted to ask was more so about, usually this is the second question, which is more so like musical inspiration. But you as a producer, you might have something different to bring to the table for the sense of like production inspiration, besides like EDM, because we talked about that. Like shit like that.
Yeah. I think my main inspiration is probably Dead Mouse.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So, I mean, I really didn't start listening to him until, I don't know, probably like 4 years ago. I've always heard of him and I've liked his stuff. But Dead Mouse for sure, yeah. I really want to make stuff like him. Somewhere down the line, I might cut into that. But I mean, really, every day I'm listening to, you name it. Really, I got into metal, like death metal kind of stuff, like a couple months ago. So I listen to a little bit of that now. I listen to like cowbell funk a lot. Um, Bones, I get down with some Bones, yeah. And I got the Grief tee on. I had to put the Grief tee on. Had to
Nice.
show some support, yeah. Grief's probably one of my favorite producers as well. Um, let's see. I mentioned Yachty. Yachty's pretty good. I mean, I'll just turn him on really. Uh, I'm not so much of a drainer. I wish I could say I was, because I feel like people might like me more. Um, but yeah. So just a lot of underground stuff. Like I love finding stuff that's like under 1,000 plays and just playing that. Like what's his name? Dusk. He has a
Yeah.
song called "What's Your Name." I swear to God, that's like the best song. I've
Dusk.
like
It's
That's one of
really
the best
good.
songs I've ever heard, for real. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, it really changes a whole lot of people. A lot of my friends, like in the cowbell scene, cowbell funk scene, that's like a whole nother story. Um, that I have another alias for, but yeah, I mean, really, every day changes.
Oh yeah, I feel you, dude. Fucking, I'm the same way, especially like when it comes to like variety. Like one day I listen to like straight country music, next day is like some like pop punk shit, and next day after that it's like some like I don't even know. So my
Oh well,
ears,
actually, yeah,
yeah.
Pete for sure.
Oh,
Back in the day,
the
yeah, I
fucking
don't.
godfather of it all. Everyone mentions Pete for real.
Yeah, I think 2020 I really repped him. 2019, that's it. 2019. That was when I like found SoundCloud and I just listened to Pete like nonstop. Yeah, that definitely really wanted me to help me make beats. Really
That's
inspired.
yeah. So with your production style, because I've seen some of your stuff obviously with my acquaintances, which usually has more like alternative influence rather than not. And then we know of your EDM history, but then you talked about funk, and so I'm assuming you said you had a different alias for that stuff.
Yeah, I go by Calbo Christ. It's kind of like an art project. Like I'm trying. So Crota, when I made that account, I kind of like came to this. I don't know, like this is how I really wanted it to be seen. Crota is like me, who I am. I guess my artistic um, self, and Cowboy Christ is kind of just like an art project. Because I'm not sure where it's gonna go. It's brought me some cool connections for sure, and I'm definitely gonna stick with that for a while. But I figured it was just kind of hard when I made Tetris Space. I don't know if you heard that on my
Nah,
account.
definitely will check it out though. So
Yeah. So once I made that, I was kind of like, dude, this is the best song I've ever made. And I still feel that way. I mean, the melody, everything about it. I heard Suicide Year by Weedman. You probably heard that. it blew up hard, and he definitely deserves it. Um, but yeah, so Cowbell Christ is like my other name for cowbell funk, and I'm super into that. So
How
I'm
did
trying to keep
how
that
did
separate.
how do you come across that, like that style, or just shit, like that whole like scene, and decide like I want to get into this and with a whole different like alias and shit?
Um, I mean, I listened to Suicide Year by Weedmain, and then I'm trying to think. I mean, really, that's what set it off. I was like, "What is this? I don't even know what
Yeah,
to call this." And then I guess I just got recommended. Like SoundCloud recommendations have blessed me because if I never heard Peep, I probably wouldn't be here. If I hadn't heard Noru, I wouldn't be here. If I hadn't heard Cowbell Funk, then I would have never made it. So yeah, SoundCloud's definitely helped me out. But I guess I just got recommended it, and then I just downloaded a Cowbell kit, looked up some garbage tutorials because they're all terrible for cowbell funk. Really, they're like the most generic stuff ever. And
yeah,
I kind of found like a hole in it because everybody was making drift funk, which is like this high energy, really loud. Well, it used to be way louder. Oh, I kind of skipped over a part.
go back
I
for
think in
yeah.
2020, let me get ready for this. This is a good one. It's a good story. It's hot in here, dude. Where's my fan remote?
Where are you at? Ooh,
I'm in Virginia right now.
all right, yeah, I could imagine it's a lot hotter because I'm in
Yeah.
New York, and like it's all right. I think it might be, I don't know, it's probably 70 degrees today, give or take. And maybe, I don't know, I haven't been outside. It might be 90, I don't know. But
Yeah, the
shit.
weather here is crazy. Like 2 weeks ago, it was like 30 degrees out in the morning.
I
It's
want to go
crazy here.
I want to go drink my water out of my fridge, and this shit's straight like slushy ice.
I used to I used to have a cooler in here and then it just broke.
Fucking, I hope mine
Yeah.
doesn't break. This shit's clutch. I used to have an air fryer, and then the other one upstairs broke. So my parents took my air fryer. They were like, "Yo, we need to use your air fryer." I was like, "Fuck, that shit was clutch too." So
Yeah.
okay, what was I gonna
Sure.
say? Go back to what you're saying with the 2020 because we got into it, and then
Yeah, so 2020, I got into like the hyper pop scene, right? I don't really like calling it that because that's kind of just putting it all in a box and there's so many different aspects to it.
right.
But I found like OS Quinn and Saturn, like Waze, all those folks. And that I think that's really what kept me going because at the time I didn't really know what to make. So I think I found you guys like this corner, and then I found like digicore hyperpop kind of stuff, which I hadn't heard before, and I figured I could make it because I finally got Serum. So when I got Serum, I kind of like I got it for my birthday. Um, that thing's hefty. That is so expensive, but it's
And what is
really
this, like a DAW type shit? Serum?
yeah. So Serum is like a VST. It's like the most popular VST ever. I swear to you, it's so popular. Um, yeah. So I got that, and I was like, let me try my hand at making EDM. So I tried to make some EDM, and I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on this. And then I found some hyperpop, and they kind of used it. So I kind of switched up my style, added some hi hats. Listen, I mean, there's not really tutorials for it, so I kind of just had to listen to it, which is kind of what I do now. I'm really good at analyzing stuff now because I mean I've been making stuff for a while, and I've just heard so much stuff that I just kind of know like what'll sound good. Um, so yeah, I found that kind of stuff. I just started making beats, sending beats to people. They never used them. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that because there's this one dude named Sewer. Shout out Sewer. He goes hard. Australia. Um, yeah, so Sewer, I sent him like 5 beats. Um, I don't know how he's doing now. I haven't really been in touch with that scene. I kind of left it recently, like, I don't know, about a year ago, but they definitely helped me. This one dude, Zanny, this story is so long. I've never told this story.
No, it's good. This is what this is made for. The
It's like
story.
going everywhere. Okay, so there's this dude named Zanny. I was in a collective. I don't know how I managed this. I was in like 3 different collectives at like one time. and I did not make a beat for any of them. I swear to you, I did not make a single beat for any of them. It's crazy. I seriously don't know how I pulled that off. I don't even know why they let me in. I guess because I just knew people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just talking to people. Like I met who did I meet? I met Angelus. I think that's how you say her name. Angel US, Kuru. I think I might have met Waze. I don't remember on Omegle. And that's when I tried to use Twitter because people told me that that's what's up. And I always knew Twitter had a bad reputation because it was just toxic. And so
It's
I
all right.
tried to,
It depends honestly what you follow on Twitter. But
yeah,
yeah.
I've heard that, but I just can't do it to myself. And I'm not on my phone that much, really. Like I try not to be. Um, but yeah, so I tried to use Twitter and not a huge fan of that. Maybe Elon Musk can convince me to use it.
Fucking buys it out and takes all rearranges everything.
Yeah, that's crazy that he bought that.
I think he
Um,
bought it, or it's like in the process of it, because I also heard that they were like not letting him or some shit, some crazy shit.
Probably like a million years of paperwork or something.
Or but continue on with the fucking three collectors and the connections and shit.
Yeah, so I was in a bunch of collectives and I met some really cool people. Um, very dedicated. I wish they were as dedicated as me though, because some of them kind of slacked off. And I was like all about it because I think this was freshman year. So freshman year of high school, I don't know how I managed to do it. I had like a 3.9 GPA.
Damn.
And I would come home. Might have been summer. I bet it was summer. I think I was probably like tryharding and just playing games on the weekend or whatever. It's kind of a blur. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, so summer last year. I think it was last year. Oh, okay, no, okay, I remember now. This is deep. Okay. We had freshman year, I forgot COVID happened. I don't know how I could forget that. COVID happened. So I was doing my work and I would just talk to these people that were like halfway across the world and halfway across the US, all this kind of stuff. So that's when I was in like three collectives. So I could kind of slack off in school because it was like really easy because everything was online. So actually, that's how I got a 3.9. I
Yeah.
didn't cheat. I didn't cheat. I guess I used my resources maybe. 75% of it was legit though.
When COVID happened, I half of it was in junior year. Like it started like when the pandemic started, I was in junior year. And then the whole senior year I had online, bro. I slept through all my classes and passed with flying colors, like good grades. And I slept through all my classes. So it was pretty easy to like fucking keep that shit up. So I feel you. But shit, 3.9 is still really fucking good, especially on paper.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore. But that's really all up to me. Like I'm the only person that made it happen. Like I have no one to blame but myself. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, freshman year, I met these dudes. I'm trying to think of the name. I was in this thing called Quad Feed. I doubt you can even find a trace of that collective.
That
I
shit
can't
just
even.
crumbled.
Yeah, a lot of them were. A lot of them just were like poof, gone.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I met some folks in there. They kind of showed me how to make some stuff. Um, I made a couple beats. They're not all bangers. I think I have a couple still. I don't know if they're on my SoundCloud or not, but I made some beats for them. Never used them. Uh, and then I started trying to make like breakbeat and some other stuff that I just heard, and still kind of just messing around on not really releasing anything or producing. And then I think I kind of came back to y'all, and I was like, I'm gonna make some guitar beats because I really love that sound, and I'm proud of a lot of the guitar beats I made. Um, I don't play the guitar, unfortunately.
I was just about to ask, I was like, there's a guitar back there. I was like, do you like use it for the beats or like you sample?
Yeah, I'd sample. Um, So I've gotten into the sampling scene because that's like a whole art in its own. Because
Oh yeah.
Willow, shout out Willow. He was showing me how he made like how he finds samples. Because I was like, dude, how do you find these samples? And he showed me the ways. So
I wouldn't even know the first step about any of it, dude. Producing is like a whole different world for me. And like a part of me wants to like tap into it and try it out because I feel like if I got good at it, I could like do some dope shit. And I just like to put my hand in as many pots as I can. But you guys are on something else. Give us some insight on that. Don't give
yeah,
away the secrets, but give
no,
us some
no, no.
insight.
Yeah, I kind of found my own way. It's really just like a rabbit hole kind of thing. And like if you do research, if you just listen to songs, then you kind of get like a feeling for what you want. And I mean, sometimes there's this one beat I made. Oh my god, this beat is so good. It's probably gonna come out in a project. It's like a Memphis OG funk kind of stuff, horrorcore, but it's like kind of emo because I've really been into emo. Like
That
my
shit sounds
whole
dope.
yeah, my whole musical career has just kind of been emo style. Like I just love making emo stuff that makes you want to cry. You know, there's just nothing like it really.
Word.
So yeah, I sampled like this advertisement I heard on YouTube, and I used like the first 0.5 seconds. Like it's not even a second of the sample I used because they're like playing the piano really fast, like Beethoven style.
Yeah.
And I just like went to the website, um, and I just like recorded it on Audacity, um, and then I just plugged it into Ableton, and I was like, oh my god, dude! I added some filters on it, some old like. It gets me excited just thinking about it. Where was I? Where was I?
0.5 second of a piano, and we took it and put it in Audacity.
Yeah. So yeah, sampling. That's it. Sampling.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to collab with some dudes. I've tried to collab with Unknown. Unknown, you gotta hit me up. Willow, you gotta hit me up.
Shout
Producers,
out,
you gotta hit me up. Really.
shout out unknown. See, fucking, I think I have him scheduled for I don't know. Wait, we didn't schedule anything this week. I have a couple producers I have to record for this week, like podcast wise. So that's really good because I'm glad I'm starting to get producers on because then you guys can find out about each other as well. You know, whoever tunes in and watches the podcast. But no, yeah, I gotta get unknown. He hit me up when I put that shit on my story today for Cult Personality account. I was like, oh, there's no episode this week. Who would you like to see on the show? He was like, yo, you should have me on. I was like, when's your availability? So he'll probably he'll probably see this, and you'll probably see his episode, and yeah, y'all can mingle. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
hyped for that. I've talked to him a little bit. I think we maybe had a couple things, but we never really finished them. There's a lot of demos. If you're a producer, you know what it's like. But if you want to get into producing, I mean, it's really just like trial and error. And if something sounds good, um, you release it. And sometimes you come back and you're like, wow, I really could have exported this if I just like changed this one plugin. Like if you took out one frequency. So there's this like pet peeve of mine. I used to have it. I don't really have it anymore, but I would like export a beat and I would just put so many filters on it that it's like there's just so many things to listen to. You can't even point out like it's just kind of a weird mix. Like I don't know how it's going to be received, but I like it. I've listened to it so many times. I guess I'm deaf to it, but I'll listen to it back, and there's like this really high pitched noise, and it pisses me off really. Like it just makes me so mad. Things like that.
I can only imagine there's like a way to fix that. No, like EQ it or some shit.
And then I had to like private it, and then I just never. I mean, I have like I've done that before where I re-export it and I just don't release it because there's not never a good time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Long story for many things. I'm like so involved in too many things, really. I
No,
think
you
that's what it is.
got your hand in a lot of pots.
Yes, too many. And I'm trying to figure out life right now too. I have like I'm starting work here on Friday.
Oh,
So
what's that? What are you doing?
I work at a go-kart place. They have some
Okay,
other stuff too,
that's lit.
but
Fuck,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
that's
Um,
pretty chill. Fucking the jobs near
very
me all suck.
it's very hot out too.
Oh,
Yeah. You're from New York? You don't live in the city, you said, right?
nah, I used to once upon a time, but that was 5 years ago.
Oh, I see.
So now
Yeah.
I'm in the rural suburbs. Ass.
Nothing wrong with that.
Now it's cool. I really like it. I like how quiet it is. I like the wildlife. Trust me, I like a lot about the suburbs, and and the fucking lack of pollution. It's great. It's great. It's so
Yeah.
isolated though, and there's nothing to do here. So
Do you
I have no choice but to be home.
do you have any roommates or do you live with your parents or what?
I still live with the parents. So
No, that's what's up.
no, yeah. I mean, shit. I would like to fucking get out of here eventually soon. Um, Probably hopefully within the next year or two, give or take. But
Yeah.
who knows where I'll go then? I might go. I mean, I don't know. Well, how it's looking, I might find my way back to the city.
Yeah, I think that's a cool route because I mean I used to want to live in New York City, like in the heart of New York City. I don't even know why, because it's so expensive. And now it's kind of like not practical.
Everyone romanticizes it, but with the economy and the raising crime rate, a lot of people are like, no, which is
Yeah.
fair, which is very fair.
Um, I mean, people say like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? But that's not even a fair question. Like,
So fucking unpredictable. Who knows where we'll be in 10 years?
and like even 1 year, I feel like that's not very fair.
Right. Dude,
Um,
where I was a year ago today was a completely different mindset and everything than today, you know?
mhm.
So it's, yeah, I feel you on that one.
um, I mean, where was I a year ago? I was like making beats. I wasn't getting any plays. I've really tried to never think about numbers, but sometimes it just gets to your head. I'm sure you've been in the same boat before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even like, and if it's not one thing, it's another for me. Like, for example, like my songs will do good numbers, like do a couple thousand and shit, which is pretty good for the fact that I'm fairly small.
Hmm.
But then I'll get into the things of like, oh, how many likes it has versus how many plays it has, and oh, how many plays it has versus how many followers I have, and I'm like, why aren't they following? It's like they don't like it type shit. But yeah, it'll stress you out. So exactly, you shouldn't get like too hard about numbers because you just chill, they'll come, you know?
Yeah, I really want to put out more stuff because when I put out more stuff and other people appreciate it, and I mean I can appreciate it. I'll be like, "Yo, dude, I just made this like EP, and I'm really proud of it. You want to listen to it? Tell me what you think." Just like my friends, because I don't have any friends really. Well, I do have this one friend. He puts up beats on YouTube. They're actually pretty good. They're like Plug. I'm not really into Plug too much. I listen to some Carl Weezer. You should check out Carl Weezer. He goes hard.
Isn't that like the character, like the name of the character from fucking Jimmy
Jimmy
Neutron?
Neutron. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's like this dude. I guess he's his. I don't even know how he sounds like Carl Weezer. But it's like Plug and B. Oh my god, I'll send it to you. It's so good.
bet.
But yeah, so um yeah, I want to make some more projects. I'm working on an album right now. I haven't really worked on an album in a while. I think Primer was my last one. I put out an EP on Cowbell Christ. That was like my first EP. That's when I made Cowbell Christ because I was like, I don't think I could have like guitar beats and then like this whack cowbell
Yeah,
like
like on the
EDM,
same thing.
yeah, distorted kind of stuff. I think that's important too, because like I don't really have an image over the
Yeah,
past. Like as I've grown, I've kind of realized you kind of need an image to some extent. I mean, you don't want to be put in a box. Other people are still going to put you in boxes, but it's really just how you
exactly.
define yourself. Um, and I mean, nobody's like took an image from me and just ran. I've ran with it because some people do that. They're like, dude, you sound like this guy. And then they just like completely change who they are and they just run with it because they're like, I don't know. There's a whole big, I think a lot of SoundCloud, like the underground, I think a lot has to be said about the mental health of a lot of people because I know I've been there before. Um, I think a lot of people don't talk about it, and I think some people use it to cope, but a lot of people just kind of, I don't know, they kind of let life take its toll, and then they just make music, and then they're just kind of like thrown out into the rocks, and they don't really know what to do with their life, and then they just kind of like, I don't know, sputter out, you know?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people go through different mental anguish with in the scene and shit like that. Like just like because everyone's at this weird like everyone is around the transformative age, where everything's changing and shit, like anywhere, from 16 to like 20, 21 type shit.
Yeah.
And everyone's like either going to college or working and shit, and people are getting busy and shit. People are fucking going through ups and downs, and it all affects like their music and shit. And yeah, and it definitely isn't spoken about, and I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people are really going through it in the scene and shit like that, and it affects their art and shit. And a lot of pressure too.
Yeah. I think that's where numbers really come in because I mean, if you kind of are just set on this, like, I really just want to make music for like my whole life, that's kind of like, that's one-sided, you know. There's a lot of things you kind of have to worry about, like living. I mean, that's the biggest point. Like, where are you gonna sleep? How are you gonna pay for this stuff? Um,
Right.
like I'm okay with eating ramen and sleeping on a mattress in like I don't know somewhere and just making beats. Like that's cool to me, but I mean, really, if you live in it for a while, it kind of just
You're gonna want to like progress farther than that.
yeah. And if it doesn't work out, you're just gonna be that dude on a mattress with a laptop.
Right.
Like I don't know. There's a lot to be said about a lot of things.
Yeah, it's definitely all about acknowledging, the good and the bad and all possibilities, but then also having faith.
Yeah,
Definitely a
you
healthy balance.
you definitely have to believe in yourself first and
Right.
foremost, but you need to love yourself before you love others.
Right. Exactly. A lot of people, yeah. And what happens is a lot of people, they go through the trials and errors and they go through the ups and downs and they start losing faith in themselves and then they sputter out, like you said. But it's
I
definitely
kind
hard.
of I kind of like wanted to get like a therapist, you know, because I feel like there's just some things that are not better off just keeping to myself.
Right.
Like I've never been like that close with my parents where I just like ask them about anything. Like I'm sure they'd be open to it. I don't know how your parents are.
Me and my mom are best friends. I never had an emotionally available father figure, whether in my father or my stepfather. And so it's me and my mom. We're like this. But besides that, yeah, if I didn't have that shit, I'd probably seek anything else, like some sort of like, what's the word, outlet.
Yeah. I think music's always been there for me though, so it's kind of just like you could just be anywhere and just put in like some AirPods, some headphones, just listen to a song, and then just kind of like takes you away, but you can't stay there too long because now everything's kind of like catching up to me because this last 2 years, well, really this last year, it's kind of been just hard because junior year, my sister had a really hard junior year, and I mean I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of just I don't really know why. I feel like COVID didn't really have any effect. Maybe it did because freshman year I didn't try that hard and somehow I got A's. And so I guess maybe I just expected it to be easy. Sophomore year I did decent.
Well,
Sophomore year was weird for me.
they say junior year is like the academically hardest year,
Oh yeah.
and senior year is a piece of cake.
Yeah, my junior year has definitely been very hard. I took AP computer science. That was a mistake. I don't have any regrets. I'm never gonna live with regrets. I
Right.
hold that dear to my heart. I'm never gonna have
No
any regrets.
regrets.
So I don't regret it, but I learned from it. And I didn't actually really want to take it. Somehow I managed, like somehow I ended up taking it online, so that was probably the worst part about it. I hate taking things online, really.
Yeah, I realize that I'm not good at learning online. I have to be in the environment, like tuned in. Otherwise, I'm tuned out type shit.
Yeah, I think there definitely has something to be said about focusing, because online, if you can't focus, you're screwed. I watched this video yesterday about like this monk, and he was just like, it's crazy. Those kinds of people, they just make you rethink your whole life. Like, what if I just became a monk and I just lived in like South Taiwan or
Thought-
something?
I've thought about it too. Just like, yo, just
Yeah,
go
really.
and vibe.
Like, I could like I could work for SpaceX. I'd have to pay a bunch of money to learn how to, I don't know, do some math problems to make people go to space, but uh,
Or just go
or I could
be
just be a monk, or I could be a priest. Like, there's so many routes to go.
or even though I think with any like figure like a priest or a monk, you gotta like, I don't know. For me, like I'm not one to really care about material or things even in the physical world in general. But they sacrifice like a bunch of shit. Like you can't what? You can't do like shit. Like you just eat, breathe, and live like that shit that you are. Like what? Priests don't have sex, right? I mean, they're not
No, I don't.
supposed to.
Yeah,
Some of them do some
on the
weird shit.
record.
Yeah. And then monks aren't supposed to either. And I think they even go harder with that shit. And I'm like, listen, I don't think I could sacrifice all that. All right. But shit, more power to them.
I mean, if you're surrounded by a group of people that are going through the same kind of stuff,
Yeah, it might be more encouraging, definitely.
yeah,
To yeah.
I've really been wanting to like meet a group of people. Like, it'd be so cool to meet like you, or I don't know, um like Devin or anybody really. I think that'd be sweet.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, it's not really practical where I'm at right now.
Dude, I've been wanting to meet people in the scene, like, and especially I got extremely like what's the word? Not even jealous, but like fucking was it? Chimney and Devin met up recently and they
Yeah, I
posted a
saw that.
picture of that. And I was like, fuck, man, like what I would do to fucking meet up with somebody in the scene. Like I went to high school with Fiji. I met Noru twice. One of them I didn't even realize it was him. It was like very high and by type shit. And then one of them we were in the same like shopping area. Besides that, I haven't met anybody else like in the scene.
Yeah, I've never really had any friends that are into music, and I do want to mention one thing. When you were talking about producing and who I produced for, I left out Fallacyad. Fallacyad has blessed me.
Shout
Uh,
out Fallacy.
Shout out Fallacy for real, and Fiji. I think I did mention Fiji,
Yes.
dude. Fiji, I really want to work with her. She makes some really good stuff.
And she's very diverse, like very much variety in what she makes. So I don't think it's ever a boring day with her. Like whenever I collab with her or send her some shit for her to hop on, I'm always like, so
Yeah, and it's cool to have some gender fluidity. I think that's the right word.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely cool.
We
Uh,
need we need more of everything. We need more women, we need more men. Well, no, we have enough men. We need more women, we need more non-binary, fucking everybody in the music scene. Bring it all together.
you know how there's like Thrax House? We need a Thrax Mansion.
Facts.
Like, can you imagine like 50 people living in like this huge house?
The whole shit. That'd
That'd be
be
crazy.
that fucking water bill and shit would be crazy. No, yeah, but that shit's fucking dope, man. And like overall, yeah, I would like to meet people in the scene. I definitely do. Like, I want to be posted up in a flip with like all my music guys. Like, I've known y'all for like 2 years at this point, at least of y'all. If I don't know you, I know of you, type shit.
Mhm.
And like for like 2-3 years, it's just consumed a big part of like my mental and shit like that.
Yeah, that would definitely be sweet.
Also, physically being around people, like they say like who you surround yourself with is like kind of like what decides like your priorities and your drive and shit. And I feel like if I was surrounded by people who are all with the same goal that I have, like who's really stopping us in that case?
Hmm.
So I don't know. Only the
Yeah, I
future will
mean,
tell.
I don't know how that would work because I've thought about that for a while. It's like, I don't know how we would get money. Like, Because I feel like when Peep and Tracy, like what's it called? Goth Boy Click, GBC, when they were like a whole thing, I think they made enough money to where they could kind of sustain themselves.
It would kind of just be like, and how I've envisioned it, or how I think it realistically goes, is just like everyone working jobs that they can get. Like it's kind of low. It's probably going to be like minimum wage jobs if everyone's on high school diploma type shit.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's working shitty jobs, putting their money together to like afford a cost of living in some shitty place because you're trying to use up as much little as much little space as you can, so you can save money and then put that whatever towards the goal.
Yeah.
And it'd just be like shitty living until you make it. But it's a sacrifice, so it's not like shitty living, like, oh, it's like, oh, we're working towards something. That's
And the
how I
longer
see
you
it.
spend doing it, the higher of a chance you have actually like getting somewhere with it.
Yeah, because then you gain more popularity, more notoriety, and then you can do things like merchandising, you can do shows, you can make money
Yeah.
off two of those things, and then you have passive income coming in, and next thing it makes its way up.
And then when you start living with people, you get to see their true colors. That's another part.
Which can be really good or really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, the sacrifices that come with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 16 right now. I don't even have my license. I'm supposed to have my license. I was supposed to have my license,
Bro,
but some complications and some slacking off. Don't forget the slacking off.
I was 16 when I got my driver's permit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 19 now. I don't have my license. I was supposed to like start driving. The pandemic happened like the year after I got my permit type shit, like a couple months after. I was like, okay, that was a big slowdown. And then when I actually worked towards like getting like my license, all the driving schools over here sucked. So I tried learning with my mom. I took the 5 hour and whatever. I went to the road test, failed, and I was like, fuck this. Which, I mean, I'm not stressing about it too much. And so this is also, I'm not trying to talk about myself. It's just to show like I'm 19, I don't have my license. So you're still good, dude. But
Yeah.
what was I saying? Lucky for me, like if I did decide to go back to the city, I wouldn't want my license anyway, because driving in the city is like the biggest inconvenience ever with
Yeah.
traffic and shit and parking. I'd much rather just take the subway and like risk my
Yeah.
chain.
It makes me uncomfortable thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I have a manual too. So
Oh,
that's like, I don't know if that's better or worse. I really haven't driven enough to
I
like,
mean, if you get nice with it, it's better because then
yeah.
it's just, I heard a lot of people say like, oh, it just makes a better relationship with your car, like blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't know. So I assume it's better, like if you get good with it.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, where were we? Which part of the interview are we in?
I don't even know. We don't even have like a structured fucking questionnaire. It's just like we're just talking, which is good. This is my favorite way to record a podcast. I don't like going like question by question because like it feels too organized. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
like organization. Don't get me wrong,
Chaos. We love chaos.
but chaos is cool because it's just like it keeps you intrigued because you don't know what's gonna happen next. It's unpredictable. But yeah, no, exactly. What did I say?
I have a point if you're at a loss.
No, go for it.
Yeah, so the Thrax Mansion. I'm trying to think if we had, I guess you have a job. Everybody has a job. You
Right.
buy like, I don't know, how many audio interfaces? One?
Honestly, if everyone just brought their own shit from what they use and we just had like 5 fucking like makeshift studios, just bad fucking laptops and audio interfaces, like just mad music being made and shit. It'd be really dope if we could, like, if everyone was just like a creative force as one. But
Yeah, my parents would disown me. Um, I might have to like, I don't even know. That's like the worst part because it's like you can imagine all this stuff, you can dream about it all you want, but like if I think about where I'm at right now, I'm not on my own at all. I
is
mean,
there like a pressure on you to go to like college and shit?
I think, yeah, they definitely do want me to go to college, but they haven't really like said what do you want to do? I mean, sure they have. I've had lots of different ideas, but this year this next year is really gonna decide. I mean, senior year. Um, right now, I think like off the top of my head, I could say safely I could just go to community college for like 2 years and then go hit. I don't know. I'm really close to William and Mary. It's like down the street.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, I don't really want to go there. If I wanted to go somewhere, I'd really like to go to Virginia Tech for engineering. I think it'd be so sick to work for like SpaceX. But I'm not that great at math. I don't know if that's just all in my mind. Maybe I need to get down writing on paper and get some people around me that actually like math.
yeah, I think it just, and also I feel like it probably differ from like the math that we learn like in grade school and shit, you know, like high school.
Yeah, it's like literally rocket science. Like,
it's not rocket science. It kind of is, yeah. But no, I mean, at least you have a fucking goal, dude. Like for me, I tried community college for a couple months, but I didn't want to do anything like that. I'm like, yo, I really just like music, and I hadn't had a podcast yet, but I was like, I really just like to create shit, and like I don't need school to know how to create, you know, type shit. So I want to just grind it out, like working and shit. Let me fucking not get ahead of myself. I applied for a history degree, dropped out, had to pay like $1,000 because I dropped out, and then fucking I've just been chilling since type shit. I was working, I lost my job. And so I do this shit to keep me occupied while I'm home and shit. And I've been reconsidering going back to school for like something like this, like some sort of like broadcasting shit, because that's what I do already.
mm-hmm.
All right, at least let me get a degree in it, but I don't know. I don't know. I have time. I don't really have time, but I have time. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've learned over the past year is like, this has probably helped me the most is like the time is now. Like literally at any point, like if you can think all you want, but like next year, are you still gonna be thinking about it? Are you gonna maybe have dabbled in it, said you didn't like it and left?
Right.
Like if you want to do something, you have to do it.
Commit to it.
Yeah. So like albums, if you start making an album, have you made an album before?
I have
Maybe like EP.
I have a 4-track EP, and then like I don't even know what I called the other one. I have a 7-track. I don't even call it an album, like a project, whatever the fuck. Yeah, so I've made 2.
Yeah, but projects like 12. I have like my goal is 12. I have about I don't know. I've kind of just been making stuff and kind of just mixing it, making it sound better and putting out. So yeah, projects. There's a lot to be said about projects because I mean it takes a lot of effort to make all this stuff and just not even release any of it, and then like one day just release it all with the cover art and all that. So I've been grinding it out with cover arts. Like I've made cover arts for my collabs that I have on my Cowbell Christ account.
Cover art's always fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I enjoy making cover art.
Yeah, I go try hard style though, and I have like this image I'm trying to follow. Just kind of keep it organized. So yeah, and then like I swear everybody, it's like a meme at this point. I like to joke around about it, but like everybody in the phonk scene is like 13 years old. Like actually, it's crazy. They like download
insane.
FL Studio and they like barely know English. It's cool though. Like I've collabed with people I never thought I'd collab with.
What is it, like 13-year-old like Russian kids or some shit?
A lot of them are Russian. Yeah. Have you heard of KSLV before?
I'm not.
You probably heard his song Disaster.
Maybe.
But I collab with him and that's shown me like I mean I can't live off of what I made. I made like only like 3 figures. But it's still pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That I got to collab with him. And I mean just meeting people. It's kind of like discouraging knowing that I'm probably not gonna meet them in person. Yeah, because they're like
I mean, you can never say never, you know. It's all about fucking timing, who blows up, who goes where, touring, you know, no.
Yeah, I mean, I've collabed with a couple people from Russia. So right now, that's kind of like a rough situation.
Oh yeah.
So I've kind of been trying to stay into the Ukraine situation too, because there's this dude in the collective. I don't really run it. I kind of manage it, I guess. Um, Phonk division. Um, but there's this dude from Ukraine in it, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's I mean, it's tough. I don't really know. He hasn't been online really. I've seen him online. I always send him prayers and all this stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
I can only
there's nothing I
imagine.
can do. It sucks.
Yeah, it's like also like, I don't know if your biggest priority is making music when your country's like at war type shit.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what was I gonna say? There's like this saying, ignorance is bliss. Unfortunately, ig- un- let me take a chill pill 1 second.
Gotcha.
Um, Ignorance is bliss, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, yeah, sometimes just for the sake of your own mental being, it's like easier just to turn kind of like not turn away from issues and shit, but just like offload it from your brain.
Yeah. A lot I feel like that's kind of been the state of the world
Oh,
is like ignorance is bliss.
I think it's definitely I think that's even like what like the media and shit wants you to do. It's like they report so much crazy shit every day and it becomes so normalized that we kind of just offload it from our brains because like otherwise you would go insane thinking about all of it.
Yeah.
Especially, dude, this last week, I have my Twitter is what notifies me about some new shit, bro. Every day is a new shooting this last
Oh
week.
my God. Seriously.
Every day is a
It's
new
been
shooting this last week.
terrible.
Fucking, it's like, oh, Philly, Texas, Cali, fucking North Carolina. I'm like, okay. Nigeria. I'm like, all right. New York. I'm like, okay. It's crazy. Crazy. It's weird,
Yeah.
but
Life
it's
goes
crazy.
on.
Life does go on. It's weird. It's very dystopian. It's very dystopian. But I had a question, and I don't mean to just go from one topic to another, especially because we're talking about something so heavy. But
You're good.
with your projects and your albums and stuff, so these are like beat albums, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I do have one song up. I think it's on my Crota account. And it's like a sigil core song.
Yeah,
It's I just made it for fun. I literally made it in like 30 minutes. I just threw like a million filters on it, flangers, phasers, because that's really what it sounds like.
yeah,
And yeah, so I think I've made that song only is like kind of a serious song. Like I've tried to make serious songs before, but they're just not where I'd like them to be. Um, so I'm sticking with producing. I've always liked producing
yeah,
because I feel like if I say something, it's kind of cliche. Like, I mean, I can't say that for like your songs and other people's songs. I don't think it's cliche, but some people, they just like, their lyrics are like really dark and emo, and you can
yeah,
tell they really feel that way. But when they say it, it just comes across wrong. It's like, it's kind of cringy, I guess.
yeah. Especially, I don't know. It's like with the history of emotional music and shit. Granted, people feel everything in their own way, but a lot of people can come off like if they're, it's like with lines that have been used before because, feelings are feelings. They're going to say how they feel. Other people have felt that way before. So you kind of get cliche shit sometimes, and unless you like really know how to like vary or and like, be cryptic with shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I think the concept of being a producer and shit is like, I don't know, like, well, I really like have thought about it recently, especially. It's like, it looks really ideal is because like I don't know. For producers, more say you don't have to have like the biggest image because you're not the one that's like potentially looking to be on like magazine covers and shit.
Yeah.
You make connections, you send out your shit, people fuck with your shit, and connections is great to have. And then you people use your shit, you make money off that shit. You don't have to be in front of any shit, like in front of cameras and shit, shit. No, yeah, no. You don't have to be in front of any cameras or anything. You're real laid back, chill in the back, and you're making money off music and you're doing what you like to do. So I'm like, damn, that looks cool. Cause sometimes I get really anxious about the whole like you have to present yourself. I'm like, man, I could do it. I could do it. I do it here. I present myself to a camera and shit, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, producing is just kind of like I've always thought I could really put my feelings into a song. Like when I make a song, it's not so much like when people sing their songs and they rap a song, they really feel that way when they make that song. But a lot of times it's just like I'll have this feeling and like it'll kind of just like fade away. And then like I don't know, sometimes it'll be like 2 a.m. I've made some of my best songs at like freaking the worst times,
I
like
feel like
4 a.m.
I feel like it'd be easier to like and capture. I don't know. I'm when I listen to music, I'm like more of a sound guy than a lyricism guy. Like I like the way things sound over like what they're saying type shit.
Hmm.
And with that, I feel like mood can be a lot easier and captured in production rather than
Yeah,
lyrics.
I'll try to like, so I'll like I said, I mean, I'll just have like a feeling, and then it'll just go away, and then the next day I'll hop on, and I'll try and go for like a feeling, to just like it's kind of hard to explain, but it kind of just flows really. Like
Right.
my friend, I try to get him to make some funk. He's made a little bit. Um, Shout out Ecstasy Garden, but yeah. So I mean, I'll be showing him how to make some stuff, and it'll just flow really. Like there's not really much to be said. I mean, you can get articulate, you can talk about all this stuff, but I mean, it's really down to execution.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'll just make a song and it'll sound sad or it'll sound happy, but I really don't like. I really like minor scales. A lot of times I don't even use a scale. I'll just listen to it. Um, yeah.
What was I gonna say? No, yeah, that's exactly the point I was trying to make when it comes to that. It's just like the mood is captured really easily through sound and shit. And also, I feel like producing, I don't know, like I could feel something really heavy one day. And I'm like, oh, I can make a song about this. And the next day I won't feel it. And I'm like, damn, I can't make that song because I don't feel it. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like for producing, it's like, oh, I feel this way. It's like you could just like make it. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like you can capture temporary moods
Mhm.
easier.
Yeah, there's like you'll have a million thoughts, but you'll never make a song like that.
Right.
Like you'll have a million of like this, like I'll be thinking about lyrics. And I'm not even like a lyricist or anything. I don't even rap or any of that. And
Yeah.
I'll just like think about, dang, that would go hard.
That would go on. Yeah. I feel you. What was I gonna say? With your projects or things you put out yourself, like beat projects and stuff,
Hmm.
do you let or like if someone was like, yo, like this shit's dope, let me hop on it, would you like, is that open or is that something that you kind of like, no, this is my shit, like you can't hop on this type shit?
No, I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm down with anybody, really.
No,
I've
yeah.
had so many people turn me down. It's like, I don't care if you turn me down, it's completely fine. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one putting your voice on it. I'm not putting my voice on it.
Right.
And it takes a lot of heart to put your voice on something. And like, I've tried to, I mean, when I started, I was like middle school. And like, I would tell people I make beats. I'll be like,
I make
I make,
beats.
yeah. I wouldn't really tell anybody. And I used to like cringe at saying I make music. It's like, ugh. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's just kind of weird. But
Bro, literally fucking same.
yeah. Um, so I've kind of been taking it more personal. Like I changed my Instagram username. I mean, it's been a while since I changed it, but I changed it to Crota, and that was like a big, I don't know, turning point for me.
Yeah. So you're
Because
claiming this shit.
yeah, it's like who I am, and that's really it. I've learned to just, if you don't like me, then walk away.
Word
Like
up.
I'm very open. These past 2 years, I've learned to just like love everybody. I'll trust you as long as you give me a reason, like until you give me a reason not to.
Right.
Like so if you want a beat, you just got to message me. Like Fiji, she wanted Tetraspace. I said, "Hey, do you want me to change anything with it?" She was like, "No, it's good." And I don't know if she's being nice or not, but I don't think like if I was to rap on something or something like that, I try to make it like the frequencies like for beats, I try to like it's called like headroom. I try to leave some headroom for those frequencies of voices and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I asked her like, do you want me to change anything with it? I've asked other people that. They're like, no, it's fine. And I'm kind of a noob. So I don't know if I'm asking like too many questions, if I'm being too pushy,
I think you're being considerate for even asking.
but I really, really want some experience
Yeah.
because like I've made beats for a long time, but I mean, I haven't like mixed anything, mastered somebody's song. So, I mean, feel free to send me stuff.
This is a
Crotaprod@gmail.com.
this is an open challenge. No, yeah, crotaprod@gmail.com. Check it out. No, yeah, what was I gonna say? No, I mean that's cool. Yeah, and it's good that you even like express that you want to like, obviously keep gaining experience because that's how you evolve and shit and become your very best. And what was I gonna say? Fucking wait, your beats. So fuck. Why did I just have a fucking brain fart? Oh no, so for people to contact you, you recommend like that's what I was gonna bring up. Like email, message, DM, shit like that, I'm assuming,
All
right?
of them. Any of
Yeah.
them, all of them.
All right, cool. That's exactly what I wanted to bring up. I was like, yo, because a lot of producers like in the scene and shit, like Unknown and Willow, like I've tried like very lightly, so maybe I'm just an idiot, but like I've tried looking for their beats and shit because I'm used to like YouTube beats like for earlier in my shit. Now I'm starting to fuck with the producers like in the scene. Mm. Well, YouTube beats is like people have a whole channel just with all their shit. But over here, like with a lot of producers like here and shit, it's like more so like not exclusive, but just not on the surface. Like I looked at SoundClouds and I tried looking for YouTubes and shit, and like I didn't find anything. I'm like, all right, you probably just have to email them or some shit. Look, So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I like to ask, and that's probably what I'm gonna ask. Like further on, producers like, oh, so where do we find your shit? So other artists can like fuck with them if they're not already, type shit.
Yeah, I mean, I have some beats up on YouTube. When I used to be in like the hyperpop kind of scene, I
Yeah.
have some more experimental kind of stuff, Nova Gang type beats.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
my SoundCloud has like some Xavier Wolf, Sneak Guapo type beats. If you ask me for like, do you have this type beat, then I'll just send them to you. Really. Um, so yeah, and I'm always making stuff. Um, I'm really pushing hard at this album right now, so I haven't been making too many like guitar beats or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm still finding my way. So if you don't like the beats, you could just tell me. I could take it, I
Just
think.
say it. Say it with your chest. No, yeah. This brings us to kind of like it's like a two questions. It's more so to wrap up because more so what I do is I ask people like, oh, what do you have coming in the future musically? And then towards the end, I'm like, oh, what do you have coming in the future overall? I'm gonna kind of like put it into one for the wrap up, which is like
Mhm.
Crota prod, Crota. What do you have coming up in the future, the next day, week, month, year, decade? And so musically and outside of music, everything that's going on.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's get started. We got Crota. All right, I got some beats up, um, and I'm just trying to get some people to use them. Not for my sake. I just want to hear what it sounds like with some other people on them. You could download it, try it out, send it to me. I mean, if you don't like it, good, maybe. I mean, that's probably not good for your how you feel about it. It's going to discourage you. Just try it again. I'll make more beats, so stay tuned. Cowbell Christ, I'm going to release an album. I've been working really hard on that. It's probably, I mean, it's pretty experimental. You may not be a fan of it. I'm okay with that. But Crota, yeah, I mean, I want to put out a Memphis tape, like a Memphis horrorcore beat style, like Project Pat, DJ Paul kind of stuff.
Right.
Um, so I'm working on that. As soon as I get FL Studio, I'm probably gonna be releasing some more collabs for Cowbell Funk kind of stuff. My personal life, um, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Boy Scout.
Look at that. Do you like know how to like
Scouts honors.
do you know how to like tie the knots and shit?
A lot of people think that Boy Scouts know how to tie knots. Probably 10% could tie a knot that you asked them to tie, like a bowline. Nope, couldn't even.
I don't
Couldn't
even
even
know I
try.
don't even know the names of them. I just like know like the stigma that they do it.
Yeah, well, I'm about to be 18 here next year, so I got to get hurried up on that because if you're 18, like you can't get Eagle Scout. So I'm
Ah,
trying to work on that, and then I got to submit some like college applications Ugh, college.
Ugh.
Um, yeah, just riding the wave of life. I'm about to get working here soon. So yeah.
Shit looks like it's on the fucking rise, man. It was like dope talking to you because you're very motivated and you got shit unpacked and you're very well articulated with everything that's happened and everything that's going on and all the shit in the present. I'm like, damn, you're
Thank
on
you.
top of shit. Yeah, no, it was dope. I'm glad to have had you on because like sometimes I'm fucking recording and I'm just hearing, I'm like again with the pinpoint questions and type shit. And I'm just like, this is like we're too organized. We just went off and it was great. But here's the outro wrap up, which is thank you for tuning into the Cult of Personality podcast because I'm your host, Mikeymcchoppa. With me today for the last hour was Crota. Thank you for staying with me for the last hour or maybe even two. And yeah, tune in next week for whoever the fuck you duck, and we're out.